5 levels of what women actually want from a man. Most men spend their entire lives chasing the wrong thing. They think attraction is a lock and they just haven't found the right key yet. Better jawline, bigger paycheck, smoother lines. So they grind, they optimize, they perform, and they still end up confused, wondering why the woman they wanted drifted toward a guy who on paper had less. Here's the truth almost nobody says out loud. What women want isn't a single thing, it's a ladder, 5 levels deep, and most men never climb past the first one. Today we're going all the way down, not the cliche advice, the psychology underneath it. Let's start where everyone else stops. Level 1, the signal. This is the layer everyone obsesses over. Looks, status, the car, the clothes, the follower count. And let's be honest, it works for about a week. Because the surface isn't actually about vanity, it's a signal. When a woman notices how a man carries himself, she's not grading his face like a math test. She's reading data. Does this man take care of himself? Does he have standards? Can he function in the world? A clean look is just a man saying, I respect myself enough to show up. But here's the trap. The signal gets you noticed. It never gets you kept. Level 1 opens the door. It doesn't decide what happens once you walk through it. And the men who only have level 1, she figures them out fast. Level 2, the frame. Now we go beneath the surface, into how a man holds himself under pressure. This is confidence, but not the loud kind. Not the guy performing dominance in a room. Real frame is quieter. It's the man who doesn't flinch when he's tested, who doesn't get rattled when she pushes back, who can hear no without crumbling or exploding. Psychologically, women are wired to test for stability, not because they're cruel, but because they're checking the structure. If I lean on this man, does he hold or does he collapse? A man with frame creates something rare in a chaotic world, a sense of safety through certainty. When everything around her is loud and unpredictable, he's the calm center. But notice, we're still talking about strength as performance, useful, necessary, still not the deepest thing, because a strong frame with nothing behind it is just a wall. And walls get lonely. Level 3, the presence. Here's where most self-improvement content completely misses the point. You can be attractive, you can be unshakable, and you can still make her feel utterly alone sitting right next to you. Level 3 is presence, the ability to actually see her, not the highlight reel, her. To listen without waiting for your turn to talk, to notice the shift in her voice before she says a word, to be in the room fully instead of half checked out scrolling through your phone. Attention is the most underrated currency on earth. We live in an age where everyone is distracted, everyone is performing, and almost nobody is present. So when a man gives her his full, undivided attention, no agenda, no performance, it lands like a drug. This is the level where attraction quietly turns into connection, where she stops asking, is he impressive, and starts feeling, he gets me. And once she feels that, we go deeper. Level 4, the trust. Everything so far has been about how a man appears and how he engages. Level 4 is about who he is when no one's watching. This is integrity, the alignment between what he says and what he does. The man whose words are weight, not noise, who keeps the small promises, the boring, unglamorous ones, because that's how trust is actually built, not in grand gestures. In the 1,000 tiny moments where he could have cut a corner and didn't. Here's the psychology. A woman can't fully open up to a man she has to manage if part of her brain is always monitoring. Is he lying? Will he bail? Can I count on this? She will never truly relax into him. Trust is what lets her finally exhale. And a man who is consistent, honest, and steady over time gives her the one thing the surface never could: permission to be vulnerable. Because she knows he won't use it against her. This is rare. This is the level where a woman stops looking for other options. But there's one more. The deepest one. Level 5, the purpose. This is the floor beneath the floor. The thing women want most, and the thing they almost never say directly. A man with his own mission, not a man who makes her his entire world. That's not romance, that's a burden. The deepest attraction comes from a man who has a direction independent of her. A purpose he'd pursue whether she stayed or left, something he's building, climbing, fighting for. Why does this matter so much? Because purpose is the ultimate proof of self-leadership. A man who leads himself doesn't need her to fix him, complete him, or carry him. He's not leaning on her for his sense of self. He's offering her a place beside him, not in front of him as a crutch. This is the stoic core underneath all of it. A man rooted in something bigger than the relationship is a man who can love without clinging, commit without suffocating, and stand without needing applause. That groundedness, it's magnetic because it's real, closer. So here's the ladder, top to bottom: signal, frame, presence, trust, purpose. Most men live and die at level 1, polishing the surface, wondering why it never holds. But the men who climb, they stop performing attraction and start becoming the kind of man it's drawn to. You don't rise through this ladder to win a woman. You rise through it to become someone who no longer has to chase.